What's good? This your boy Ratchet TV, the Hood's journalist, man. You probably know me from YouTube. But anyway, there's a new Kada Scott update, and I'm gonna be real, man. This story just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Now, they came out with a new timeline, and this story, like I said, is getting crazy. If you pay attention to it, I called it last night on my live. When I was live on YouTube, I said, I've got inside information that there was 3 people out there. I told y'all this last night. I had inside information from some people out there in Philly that 3 people were caught on camera involved in this. And I told you it's going to be 2 males before the fact. And I told you, from what I heard, it's going to be 1 female after the fact. Now, this timeline kind of is giving you a lot of detail on what exactly transpired before, during, and after. Now, they since came out and said Kada Scott was pew-pewed in the head. They say she died from a gunshot wound to the head. Also, they got surveillance footage that shows 2 other male accomplices helping get rid of her body. Now, on October 2nd, Scott received a text that read, "Yo, Kada, this is my new number," according to a criminal complaint. Scott then replied asking, "Who this?" The other person identified themselves as Kel. Investigators identified Kel as Keon King. On October 3rd, 2025, at around 11:30 p.m., Philadelphia police responded to an incident on Sprague Street. A vehicle theft in progress. A delivery driver told police that his black Hyundai Accent had been stolen. He left it unlocked, and a man dressed in all black entered the vehicle and then drove off. Now, on October 4th, at around 10:07 a.m., Scott texted King, "Kidnap me again," to which King replied, "Better be up too." According to the criminal complaint, the 2 then planned to meet later that night, according to investigators. On October 4th, 2025, at around 9:45 p.m., Scott left her family's home along the 8300 block of Rodney Street in Philadelphia to head to her overnight shift at the Terrace at Chestnut Hill, a nursing home on the 400 block of East Abington Avenue. A co-worker at the nursing home told police that they last saw Scott around 10 p.m. that night outside of their workplace. According to the co-worker, Scott appeared to be upset, and she was overheard saying, "I can't believe you're calling me about this ish." Scott then walked toward a dark-colored SUV parked outside the job. The SUV left immediately after, according to a criminal complaint. According to the criminal complaint, Scott and King had one last text exchange around 10:09 p.m. that night, which read, "CM," or "call me when you hear." The phone that King allegedly used was registered to another person. Investigators said police say the cell phone data showed King and Scott were together in the area of 495 East Abington Avenue around 10:15 p.m. that night and traveled eastbound toward Mount Pleasant Avenue. Investigators said there was a total of 12 phone calls made from Scott's phone between 9:25 p.m. and 10:12 p.m. that night. After 10:24 p.m., there was no more contact with her phone, according to the criminal complaint. Surveillance video then showed a dark-colored vehicle pulling into the parking lot of the Aubrey Recreation Center around 10:28 p.m. that night and backing into a parking spot near the playground across the driveway from the vacant Ada H. Lewis Middle School on the 6100 block of Ardley Street. Police believe the vehicle was the stolen Hyundai Accent, according to the criminal complaint. A person was spotted in the surveillance video exiting the vehicle, walking through the playground towards the fence line between the rec center and the school. Cell phone data also showed King traveled to the Aubrey Arboretum on 1 Aubrey Road in Philadelphia Germantown neighborhood around 11 p.m. that night before returning to the area, according to investigators. On October 5th, 2025, the next day, Scott's family reported to the police that she was missing after never returning home from work. Later that night, around 11:39 p.m., a vehicle pulled into the parking lot near the Aubrey Recreation Center. The vehicle parked near what appeared to be King's Toyota Camry, according to the criminal complaint. Surveillance video then showed two people exit the Camry. One of the individuals was on foot. The other appeared to be riding a motorized scooter or e-bike, investigators said. Both people then left out of view of the surveillance camera while the vehicle remained parked at the location. October 6, 2025. The two individuals returned to the vehicle in the parking lot around 3:56 a.m. on October 6, investigators said. The two people then emerged from the playground and approached the area where the Toyota Camry had been parked, according to investigators. One of the individuals motioned toward the other vehicle parked in the area. The second vehicle then exited the parking lot. The two individuals then approached the Toyota Camry and removed a heavy object consistent with a human body from the passenger side, according to the criminal complaint. They then carried the object towards the playground, according to investigators. About half an hour later, around 4:25 a.m., two individuals approached the Toyota Camry, entered it for a short period, and then entered it for a short time before exiting and walking back into the playground area and out of view of the surveillance camera for about a minute and a half, investigators said. Police said cell phone data showed that King also traveled from Belmar Terrace into Center City that day. They determined King was driving a 1999 Toyota Camry that was registered to him. King was scheduled to appear in court that day on an unrelated charge, officials said. King stopped in the area of the 2100 block of South 60th Street that night at 6:13 p.m., according to the criminal complaint. October 7th at 2:48 a.m. A person was spotted running from the playground area of the rec center and entering the driver's seat of the Toyota Camry before driving off, investigators said. Shortly after, around 3 a.m. that morning, police responded to a report of a burned Hyundai Accent on the 2300 block of 7th Avenue. When they arrived, they discovered the car was no longer at the location, but instead had been compacted at a nearby junkyard. Through surveillance video from the rec center and cell phone data, officials determined King used the stolen vehicle to move Scott's body, and he also set the car on fire. October 10th, investigators searched through the Arboretum, but didn't find Scott. Surveillance video showed King's Toyota Camry arriving at Gypsy Lane. Surveillance video also showed King's Toyota Camry arriving at Gypsy Lane on the 4000 block of Gypsy Lane around 3 p.m. that day. Police said King was spotted on video repeatedly exiting the car, accessing the trunk, and leaving the car, sources told NBC 10 King's family members who lived at the complex. October 14, 2025, after police identified King as a suspect in Scott's disappearance, he surrendered to police on Tuesday, October 14th. He was charged with kidnapping for ransom, false imprisonment, criminal use of communication facility, stalking, recklessly endangering another person, and tampering with physical evidence. King was placed in custody at the Fromhold Correction Facility, where he is being held on a $2.5 million bail. October 15th, police announced King's arrest during a press conference on Wednesday, October 15th. They released surveillance photos of King's vehicle, the gold Camry. Police then responded to the Ada H. Lewis Middle School later that day after receiving a tip. They then recovered a cell phone case outside of the school, according to sources. And I think we kind of know the rest from here. We kind of get the gist of it. But the point is that he had help. Now, this timeline gets detailed and tells you everything that was going on with King that day. And it looks like she just never stood a chance. She was obviously set up. And I believe there's one more person involved, and I believe that person is Gabby. What do you guys think? This story is taking a crazy turn. R.I.P. to Kada Scott, man. And teach your kids. Don't get in the car with just anybody. Stay woke, man. Keep your locations on and let everybody know where you're going. This is a sad and unfortunate situation.